Okay, wonderful. Welcome everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Welcome, bienvenidos, karibuni, bienvenue, willkommen, and many other languages I cannot even attempt to say right now. Thank you all so much for coming today. My name is Lori Fernald Kamala. I work with the American Friends Service Committee, and I'm so pleased to be with you all today. I'm also very proud to be part of the Welcoming Greensboro Committee, which has gathered us here today to announce the release of the Welcoming Greensboro Report. First, let me say what a blessing it is to live in a city where people want to come and live. So can we hear some cheers for Greensboro? According to the 2012 census figures, 11.5% of Greensboro's population is comprised of people who are born outside of this country. And that does not even include the children of those individuals who were born here in the U.S. Over 140 countries are represented in Guilford County schools, and over 120 languages are spoken in the schools. We are a beautifully diverse global city, and immigrant issues affect all of us. Immigrants are our neighbors, our Girl Scout leaders, our fellow church, synagogue, and mosque goers, our business owners, our sports coaches, and our book club members. Over the last 8 months, the Welcoming Greensboro Committee has held community conversations with diverse immigrant groups across the city, including youth, seniors, and over 200 people representing more than 23 countries. We talked about what people like about living in Greensboro, what the biggest challenges are for people in Greensboro, and what suggestions immigrants in our community have to make Greensboro the most welcoming and inclusive city we can be. Today, we release a comprehensive report on this project, which includes summaries of all the major challenges that we heard during our community conversations, and a list of recommendations that we today present to the city. We are thrilled that on April 15th, the City Council unanimously passed a welcoming resolution. And now we share our full list of recommendations that we look forward to addressing with city officials and the International Advisory Committee. So let's get right started with other speakers. I'd first like to introduce Esther Idasi.
Good morning, it's still morning. My name is Esther Idasi and I am from Tanzania. I am a founder of Elimu Empowerment Services, and also I'm a member of Welcoming Greensboro Committee. While participating in our community conversations, it was shared that it's a great place to live because of things like parks, library, ESL classes, but also there were raised a number of significant challenges for immigrants in our city. These challenges include language barriers, transportation, discrimination, access to information and services. There is a clear need of broad, reaching effort to create a more inclusive environment. One group of participants felt that there is a perception of child speakers of foreign languages are viewed as deficient. Speakers whose language is not English looked at as a problem instead of valuable resource in the Greensboro community. However, we know our immigrant community makes great contribution and bring great ideas. Participants in our conversation made dozens of suggestions on how to make Greensboro even better. The full list of our recommendations is in our report, which can be located online at tinyurl.com/WGI report. These recommendations include to ensure that all city departments access to professional interpreters, establish city, county-wide accounts with phone interpreting services, to ensure that city buses travel to public schools, and this is This is really dear to me about education, especially elementary schools, so that parents without transportation can attend and can be involved in their children's education. And to sponsor community forums that generate frank dialogue with Greensboro immigrants, refugee residents, and our Greensboro residents together so we can bring more diversity community. We look forward to working with the city and the International Advisory Committee to implement these recommendations. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Esther. As Esther mentioned, this report is now available online. You can access it at tinyurl.com/WGI, Welcoming Greensboro Initiative Report. And it can also be found on our website at afsc.org/Greensboro. I'm now going to introduce Raul Garcia Gonzalez, who joins us to share some of the, we're going to now hear from immigrant community members to share some of the challenges that were raised during our community conversations. And Raul will be speaking in Spanish and Terry Bondo will be interpreting.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Good morning.
Mi nombre es Raúl García.
My name is Raúl Garcia.
Soy de Guanajuato, México.
I am from Guanajuato, Mexico.
Tengo 16 años viviendo aquí en Greensboro.
I have been living in Greensboro for 16 years.
Mi comunidad es Oakwood Forest.
My community is Oakwood Forest.
Es una comunidad ubicada al norte
It's a community that is located north
de aquí de Greensboro.
of Greensboro.
En el 29 Norte, en el Highway 29 Norte es donde está ubicada esta comunidad.
It's located on Highway 29 North.
Uno de los principales problemas que tenemos en esa comunidad
A primary concern that we have in that community
es el transporte público.
is public transportation.
Hay una comunidad muy grande, aproximadamente entre 2.500 o 3.000 personas.
It's a community with a large number of inhabitants, between 25 and 3,000 inhabitants.
En general es latina, vietnamí, afroamericana, americana.
In general, it's Latin American, African American, Vietnamese.
En esa comunidad el problema es el transporte público.
And one of the major problems is public transportation.
Al no tener licencia, muchas de las personas
By not having a driver's license, many of the people
dependen de otra persona para llevarlos al médico
are forced to depend on other people to take them places such as medical or doctor appointments,
o hacer sus diferentes compras aquí en Greensboro.
or to run errands or go shopping in Greensboro.
Por eso yo le hago una atenta invitación
And it is for that reason that I attentively invite
al consejo de esta ciudad para que nos visite,
to the city council of this city so that they can come and visit,
que conozca nuestra comunidad,
so they can get to know our community,
que conozca nuestras costumbres,
so they can get to know our customs and traditions,
que conozca lo que es una familia.
so that they can see what a family is.
Mi familia aquí vive en Greensboro.
My family here lives in Greensboro.
Mis hijos se han graduado en las escuelas aquí de Greensboro.
My children have graduated from Greensboro schools.
Mis hijos trabajan aquí en Greensboro.
My children work here in Greensboro.
Greensboro es mi ciudad.
Greensboro is my city.
Yo soy de México.
I am from Mexico.
México es mi patria.
Mexico is my nationality,
Pero Greensboro y Estados Unidos es mi país.
but Greensboro and the United States is my country.
Dios bendiga a esta ciudad
God bless this city
que me ha dado mucho.
that has given me much.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raul. Thank you very much. Within our report, we have include a number of recommendations related to transportation because that's something that came up again and again in our community conversations. We would like to see bus routes reaching housing that is dense with immigrant populations. We'd like to see city buses traveling to public schools so that parents who don't have driver's licenses or cars, we'd like to see them be able to participate in their children's education as well. That's a suggestion that came directly from the Oakwood Forest community, actually. And we'd love to see some public bus tours for immigrants and non-immigrants to orient newcomers to the bus system. And of course, there's many more, but those are a few. Okay, now I'm going to introduce Omina El Sheikh, who is a student here in Guilford County Schools.
My name is Omina El Sheikh. My parents are from Sudan. My nationality is American. I have been living in America for 14 years. I am a rising 9th grader for the year of 2014-2015. My life has always been easy in Greensboro. I have never been discriminated because of my color, race, ethnicity, or religion. English was my first language and Arabic is my second language. I grew up in a Muslim household. I live with my mother and father and 2 brothers. My parents were not the type that were very strict and hard on us, but whenever it came to religion, they held their ground. From kindergarten to 5th grade, I did not wear a scarf because I was scared of how people would treat me. Starting 7th grade year, I started to wear my scarf, and that's when the questions started coming in. People started asking me, "Are you bald? Why do you have to wear that? What religion are you? Do you worship God?" At first, I thought it was irritating. All these questions were overwhelming, and I said to myself, can't they just look it up on Google and stop asking me? There were many immigrants that did not speak English fluently, and I was skeptical to speak in my language. I did not want people to judge me. Some people who are not foreign would be offended and think that we are talking about them because they do not understand our language. Well, that is also true for immigrants. When they came here, they did not know how to speak English, so it would be offensive to them too. I recommend for each school or grade to have interpreters that speak at least 4 to 7 languages so immigrants could get an education that they deserve. I would also recommend teachers to practice cultural sensitivity for everyone.
Thank you so much. It's great to have our young people here, and it takes a lot of courage to come out and share your story in front of all of these reporters and cameras. So thanks, Omina. Now we're going to have, we have a number of recommendations related to education also contained in our report. We're going to hear out now from Jose Oliva as well, a student at Guilford College.
Good morning, my name is Jose Oliva. I'm from Guatemala and moved to Greensboro 3 years ago. I attend to Guilford College, where I work with the Student Government Association and Rosie College. Rosie College is a college access program that helps refugee and immigrants navigate the college system, but also succeed in high school and college. I recommend to all the college presidents in Greensboro, High Point, and in North Carolina to work together to provide a better scholarships for refugee and immigrants, to work together to help these populations navigate the college system. It is not easy, it is not simple, it is hard to come from a different country, to come to a new culture, meet new people, learn, but go to college is even harder because the system is designed right now not for these populations, and we need to include it. If we want to be a greater city, if we want to be a greater Greensboro, we need to work together as one family, as one city, to succeed in all the different areas. It is important that we work all together on this. These past graduations, I have seen valedictorians from this community, students in the top 10% of their classes, and some of them might not be going to college. Why? We need answers, we need responses. So I encourage everybody, Guilford County Schools and all the colleges in North Carolina, to work together because there is so much talent in public high schools and private high schools. And if we want to continue growing, we need to start working together. Yes, and thank you so much for the Welcome in Greensboro report. I think Greensboro is going to become a greater city. Thank you.
Great. I just also want to share, he's very modest, but Jose Oliva has been elected the the Student Senate President at Guilford College. So as you see here, we have lots of our rising stars among our group here and among our immigrant population. As I mentioned, there are many recommendations related to education and related to policy issues that we know our city cannot necessarily address immediately related to immigration reform. But our city can start taking some steps to move towards that and to take some resolutions showing that our city is in support of some of these issues. I now want to turn it over to Mr. Musa Isifu.
Good morning. My name is Musa Isifu, originally from Togo, West Africa. I'm here to reaffirm the immigrants community's commitment to participate in the development of this great city. We, the members of a Welcoming Greensboro initiative, are very appreciative of the City Council's adoption of the resolution that made Greensboro a welcoming city. We also believe that this should not be just an end in itself, but a means to achieving an intentional integration of immigrants in the management of the city. The city of Greensboro operates almost 30 boards and commissions. As far as we know, very few of the spots on these boards are filled by immigrants and refugees. Yet, there are qualified immigrants and refugees who are eager to serve for the development of the city that give them everything. We believe that this is one of the easiest ways to begin to incorporate immigrants into meaningful decision-making bodies. So far, the city has been very open to our ideas, and we look forward to working together to develop our city and make Greensboro an even more welcoming city. Thank you.
Thank you, Musa. And now we're going to hear from two more students from the Montagnard community, Soon H. and Lois Nlo. So, wind down.
Okay, my name is Soon H. I'm from Vietnam. I attend the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. I am part of the Life Skill Montagnard Dega Success in America. As you heard today, there are 4 issues that our city needs to address, and the first issue is housing. Housing offered to immigrants and refugees include those with bug infestation and poor infrastructure, making it a risk and a hazardous living condition. The second issue is transportation. It is hard for refugees to navigate around the city to meet their basic needs. Bus systems need to be more clear. Immigrants need to have better access, whether through buses or cars. The third issue is education, with the development of community centers where they can get their needs addressed. The last issue is health. Most refugees come to the United States and they don't speak English, and therefore providing interpreters to help them fill out forms and getting their medical aid that they seek is important. I hope that the city realizes how vital these issues are and address these issues. Thank you.
My name is Lois Malo, and I'm born in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I will be attending Guilford College. Our organization is called Life Skills. It is a Montagnard Dega youth organization we made to make our community stronger. As young people, we're stepping up because we've been blessed with educational opportunities thanks to being here in Greensboro. Our elders have sacrificed for us and contributed to making the city better by holding jobs, paying taxes, and obeying laws. Now we need help from our elected city leaders. We need a community center. We will use the Welcoming Greensboro report to make the case why we need it. So why wait? We might have other young members of the community there as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I think Lois highlighted and Soon highlighted some really important things, and that is that many of the solutions to some of the challenges that the community faces the solutions are coming from the community themselves. You have groups of young people who are organizing their own community center, and groups that are organizing their own communities for a better Greensboro. And now we look forward to partnering with the city of Greensboro to help leverage some of the city resources so that these groups can even further better themselves with their resources plus the city resources. I think that we can go a long way. We would now like to turn over this report to to Dr. Love Crossling, the Director of the Human Relations Department of the city. We are very pleased to give you this report, and we look forward to continuing to work with you. All right, that's all we have today. I think we have lots of folks who would be very happy to speak with individual media outlets. I don't know, anyone else anything to say?
Any questions?
Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Adrián.
On the report, you talk about creating a center or an office where all these services will be available. Are there any ideas who would be in charge of that office or any of on that?
So far, it's not us just creating a center where all this can be taken care of. It's us working with the city and working with the committee, International Advisory Committee, to make sure that the recommendations we have, they become the working recommendation that we will work with the communities, because this is needed inside the communities, not in one center. Thank you.
That idea came up in a number of the different community conversations that we had, and we certainly don't have all the answers or all the mechanisms to do everything yet, but that was an idea that repeatedly came up, that folks in the immigrant and refugee community need a place where they can go, where they know to help know how to maneuver the city, how to maneuver the public transportation, where to go for services, and what things they're eligible for, and who can help in what way. So we don't have all the answers of how it's going to happen yet, but we know that that's a need that we heard repeatedly. I just also want to mention, if there are additional questions, we have Dan Rearick here from Uniting NC. Dan has helped to shepherd some of these resolutions in many other cities as well, served as a wonderful resource person, and also is very aware of the things that are going on in the 30 other cities that have passed similar resolutions throughout the country. Yeah. Other questions?
Thank you. The ladies and gentlemen here are available for you guys to interview or to ask questions, so we can break up, and then for those who are representing the press, we certainly encourage you all to get to know these folks who are here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do we want one last group picture?
One last group picture?
One last picture, Tim.
Okay.